What? You guys just caught Johnny and he got stuck. It's like like the old CDs when you get stuck and it would just keep playing that. That's
Dude,
you.
well, that's all right. I'm cool with it. You know why? Because we're a week away.
1 week away.
And we're going to call today's episode Fire Drill Wednesday for 1 week away.
1 week away, guys. You got to register. It's the Sturbridge host next week, which is the 25th. Sturbridge host, guys. Go to expo.gofst.com. Make sure that you register. We got a lot of good things going on there, Johnny.
A lot of people registered on that list. You're going to see a spinny wheel later. Somebody's going to win $25. And I can tell you, a lot of people are excited about the show. It's a different venue, different feel, different, you know what I mean? It's going to be, I think it's going to be more of a better location too, because the parking lot's right outside, especially at our deals room. You know, you buy a bunch of stuff. I've seen people buy truckloads, the hand carts load of stuff, and they got to walk almost a mile to put it in the car.
Right. By the time they get there, they walk there back to their car with all the things falling on the floor. They put it in their car. They're like, do I walk back? And it's like, I think last year it was raining, right? So you're sitting there and you saw people leave, and they just didn't come back. Right. To your point, this is a much better venue in that respect. The parking lot is feet from, not miles, feet from where you're going to be. If you're picking stuff at the outlet room, go ahead and throw it in your trunk, lock your trunk, come back in. We still got a whole lot of great stuff going on. John, the biggest thing, and I've been talking to Doug Rawati from Sandler Peak Sales Performance, and he's just kind of asking me questions, kind of diving into who my customer or who our customer is, so that he sets a training that's specifically set for them. So guys, you definitely don't want to miss this. We always go to these we always do these trainings, and all the vendors will be there. The ones that you always expect to see. First Tech going to be there. Fort and Vox with their starter trainings. Kenwood, JVC, Rockford. We got them all having their trainings, but we also have, and it's like an hour and a half long each session, Sandler Peak Sales Training session. This costs hundreds of dollars to attend when you go to one of their sessions. Mm-hmm. Hundreds of dollars for a one-day session. Thousands of dollars for like a week-long session. You guys are going to have him for an hour and a half. He's going to do an interactive sales training. So don't go there thinking that you're going to be like a PowerPoint and he's going to point at stuff and tell you a lot of cool things to say. No, he's going to if you're there, he's might be calling on you. You're going to be part of an interactive sales training. So you guys should certainly don't want to miss this. Get your sales guys in there. Get the owners in there. Get the girl who that does maybe your bookkeeping. She's also at the front counter doing sales every now and again. Everybody that's touching doing sales, your installers, get them in that training class, because it's a class that you wouldn't normally get for free, right? It's going to be hundreds of dollars to send your people there. You guys got two opportunities to send, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, for Sandler Peak Sales training.
And let me just say about the title, though. This is so true, because I was in sale on the retail floor, on a retail store for a long, long time myself. And their title for this is Why Salespeople Fail and What Can You Do About It. Let me tell you something. I've seen, when I was in retail, I've seen a lot of people come in, apply, get the job, say that they do sales or say that they have some type of sales techniques to sell, and they absolutely just sucked. They really did. They couldn't sell water to a well if they wanted to. So, is sales for everybody? Absolutely not. But if you're really interested in improving your sales techniques and really, really understanding the sales profession, and I can tell you it's not for everybody. It really isn't. But why salespeople fail? That's number one. You know what I mean? Are you talking about the products that are in the shops? Are you talking about the products to the customer and what he wants? Do you know the questions to ask towards those customers when they come in to get that sale? This is a training that I would tell you absolutely attend, just because it's going to touch on those points. And then what can you do about it? Obviously, a lot of salespeople and even owners of businesses are asking me, what can we do to change? I'm going to tell you exactly what you can do to change that cost you this. Nothing. We're paying for everything. Is go to training like this. Go to the expos. Go to, the seminar, knowledge fest. Go to events like that are really focused on your company and your business. Don't go there to hang out. Don't go there to get prizes. Prizes are cool, you know what I mean? I get it. But at the same time, you want to go there to improve your business. Some of the most successful businesses have been around decades, and I'm talking about 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. They send their guys to all these events. Why? Because they understand the value of it to their company. They're not just, it's a day I'm losing out of work. It's another, I had a customer come in.
Such a great point. As we were talking to all the sales guys, and some of the feedback we're getting is, things are tough, things are slow. I can't close the store. And then when you and I go to a lot of events, the SEMAs, the Knowledge Fest, our own shows, and when we go, one of the things we've always noticed is a lot of the same people are at all of these events, and these are guys that are successful guys. These are guys that take that time to go sharpen their blade, so that when they get back in front of their customers, they are razor sharp, and they've got their stuff dialed in. They got their sales dialed in. They've got their customizing dialed in. I'm thinking of guys like
Titan Motors.
They're at everything. They're at every event. Sanford, Jack from Sanford Sound. He's at every event. Small business guys, not even guys that have huge companies like Mike Hungerford. Love Mike. You go to Mike's store, he's almost like a one-man shop, and he's at every event.
But let me make a statement about that. You also notice that those are also the shops that are constantly winning awards and constantly winning, like, top shop, top sales, best improved shop. There's a reason why they're constantly winning these awards. Is because those guys are going to these trainings, they're getting all the knowledge, and they're using it towards their store to make themselves better. You never see any of those shops talk about how slow they are. No, they're always busy. There's a reason for it. Knowledge is power. I've said it over and over again. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to I am going to toot my horn. There's a reason why I've been top 5 sales rep in the United States 7 years in a row now. There's a reason why I've been the top salesperson 2 years in a row. And it's not because I stopped learning, I stopped going to these trainings, or I stopped, just doing seminars. No.
Right, you're the salesman of the year for 2 years in a row. You should know everything. But you don't. Last night, we were here till 7 o'clock. Yeah. 7 o'clock doing a training. And that's pretty much what we're imploring to you people is, I get it. It's tough to close the shop. It's tough to be away and walk away from business. But get your people in there, get them trained, come back with renewed, refreshed. Maybe you won some stuff, to Johnny's point. So that's cool. You always win some stuff. It's always good to get your team just reinvigorated and let them come away with something. Whether it's something that they learned from like First Tech on the installation side, or something new on the audio side from one of our vendors like Sony or Kenwood or JVC, or that's the sales training that I'm mentioning. That part I think is the most key ingredient, right? The sales side, because when most of our customers or most of our guys are, the same story we have always heard. Guy that was really good with doing installations, did it for his friends in high school, did it for his buddies in college.
Did it out of a van.
Then started working at a place. Then as he was working for a place, he realized, wow, I could do this for myself. And he opens his own business. And there's a lot of the key components. He's a great installer. He knows the product. He knows the industry. But the one thing that you don't inherently get is the sales ability. And we all know that there are limited people that walk through our doors. What are we doing to, first of all, make more of those people walk through the door? And secondly, and most importantly, every opportunity that comes through, you want to maximize your sales on them. And it's not necessarily maximizing to get over on somebody, but make sure that you're giving that customer the best experience, because when they walk into the shop, they don't really know. They have an idea. Johnny, I want better sounding speakers. Yeah. I need a little more bass in my car. Find out exactly what it is that they need, and find the best solutions for them that will increase your ticket, but more importantly, make it a great experience for that customer, because then that customer flips around, because we get cars every couple of years, right? Every 3 years, the lease comes up, or their girlfriend gets a car. That's how you build your business. Doing things that you learn from best practices. from people in our industry, and that way you guys can grow your business.
And it's not only that, Bob. It's, you go to these types of shows and you can network with a lot of other successful business people. What works for them might work for you, or vice versa. You know what I mean? You ask them, hey, my sales have been down this year. What are you doing to keep your guys busy? What are you, and half of them will probably give you some ideas. It's like, wow, I wasn't even doing that. It frustrates me because there's a lot of shops out there that do not one penny, not one ad, not one type of Facebook post about their business. They go on there, especially Facebook, they go on there, I see them every day, and they're just liking comments and posts and praising other shops and this, that, and the third, but they don't talk about ever their shops. So what are you doing to promote your business? And that's what a lot of these guys, the guys that are the top tier shops that have been around forever, you ever see them not promote their shop? You ever see them not do any post about their shop or what they did for the job or what they're planning on doing for the future? No, absolutely not. I've always seen those guys talk about their shop, talk about what they're expanding, what they're doing, what they're getting into. There's a reason why they are successful. And this is an event on September 25th at the Sturbridge Host Conference Center that you guys all get to intermingle with each other. Hundreds and hundreds of people. We've done this decade after decade after decade of shows. And I can tell you, every show is always jam-packed. Every show has got a lot of different shops from all over the area, all over the territory. You know what I mean? Whether you're up north in Maine or New Jersey. We even had a guy fly 10 hours from Canada to come to our show. And let me tell you something. I asked him at the end of the show, did you get anything out of this? This 10 hours, was it worth you flying? He goes, absolutely, I would do this again. This is where I interlinked with a lot of people. And he did. He linked up with a lot of people, and they crossbred what works for them and what works for him. You know what I mean? Because obviously 2 different zones, 2 different types of selling. It really is. So, guys, events like this, my point is, events like this, don't think of it as, just another event that GoFast is putting on or any other distributor or any other manufacturer. Think of it as a day of learning to get more knowledge to make your business bigger and more successful. Because knowledge is power. And, not to say anything bad, but there was a reason why I was at one of the fastest, high-paced, multi-million-dollar stores in the industry. And it was go, go, go. And the owner would tell me to go to all these events because look what it's done for me today.
And I think that goes with anything. Mm-hmm. When you hear somebody say that I've done that, I've seen that, they're already limiting themselves. They're limiting themselves. They're not giving themselves the opportunity to, like you said, network with somebody. Mm-hmm. Talk to a manufacturer because you want to know something that's coming down the pipe. Sit into one of the training classes because there's new things every year. Mm-hmm. As you walk the floor, are there brands, right? We're sitting here in front of Element and we're sitting here in front of Streamlight, which in the 12-volt car audio store, it's not your typical product, but are there products that fit your business that you could now put something in there and now make money on this where you weren't making money on, let's say, Streamlight before, or even Element Fire Stick, stuff like that. You could start to make more money, and stuff that you didn't even think about. No. And there could be other things that you walk through our shop. I always love the Pete Blumsack from Little Trees. Yep. Little Trees. We all know what they are.
Make fun of them. Make fun of them all you want, but I'm going to tell you right now.
A ton of that.
Every rear view mirror has a little tree. I guarantee you that comes into your shop has some type of little tree in their cars. You make as much fun of them as you want because you know what? At the end of the day, the people that are selling them are laughing at you because in order for you to make that money, it takes you to sell it to them. And you're not selling it to them. You're allowing somebody else to sell it to them. And it's available here at GoFast. The same with the Element Fire Stick. You made a perfect point. Fire extinguishers are in every boat. You have to, by law.
Right, you have to.
You can't drive a boat in the water without a fire extinguisher, number one. So why aren't you putting some of these Element Fire Sticks? I dare you to try one out. It saved my ass. It literally did on the water one day.
Was it Mexican food?
Pretty much. One day, you know what I mean? My boat almost caught fire. And the stupid generic red freaking pull handle fire extinguisher did nothing to turn it off. This little stick that you see right here that lasted longer than my fire extinguisher turned the fire off, or else I would have had a sunken boat. So am I a firm believer of this stuff? Yes. Am I a firm believer that every shop should have it in their shops? Absolutely. We work with car audio. We work with electricity. 12 volt, whether it's 12 volt or not. Any arcs, especially the guys that are doing big sound system, any type of spark can cause a fire. And I guarantee you, at your shops, you got chemicals that are flammable. Hello, it's a no-brainer. You should have one at your shop to turn off. Flashlights, Streamlight. Perfect example of another thing that you guys should be having at your shops. Everybody that comes into your shop knows fire extinguishers. They either have a boat, a car, even a house, because I now have one in my house. Flashlights. Everybody has a flashlight in their car or house or tool bag. I don't care what you mention or what you do. It's somewhere in your vicinity. I guarantee you, whether you use your cell phone flashlight or you're at a shop and you need the headlight flashlight because you're underneath dashes doing remote starters this season and it gets darker earlier. It's something that you can add onto your business and sell and use in your businesses. So, sorry, I got a little...
He went off on a tangent, but to the point, come to the Mobile Expo, register for some classes, take advantage of them. You're going to miss that day, but I guarantee you, you're going to have way more value out of that one day. If you go there with the mindset of I'm going to make my sales guys take the sales training class. I'm going to take my installers, make sure that they sit in on the first tech or the JVC or any of the trainings that are there. And as a business owner, for you to talk to manufacturers and you to talk to some of the reps around the country, you're going to get value in that one day that'll far outweigh the one day, a Wednesday in the middle of September that you have to close your shop.
And to Bobby's point, also talk to the manufacturers. Don't just talk to them and be like, "Hi, Mr. Kenwood. Hi, Mr. JVC. Do you have free goods?" No. What you should be asking is, "Hey, Mr. Kenwood. Hey, Mr. JVC, Mr. Sony. I see you got this hidden clock feature in your radios. How do you get to it? How can I change the DSP to make it sound better?" Etc. Questions like that. Fill your minds up when you come to these shows to ask some questions to the man. You're talking to the manufacturers. You're talking to some of the head technicians at those manufacturers. Come with questions, because let me tell you something. If I didn't ask the world's most stupidest questions when I was younger, I'm talking about, what's a 12 volt? You know what I mean? What does amperage mean? How do you go from a 2 ohm, if you've got dual 4 ohm subs, how do you get to 2 ohm or 1 ohm? If I didn't ask those questions, I wouldn't be where I am today. Bob wouldn't be where he's at today. You guys wouldn't be where you're at today. The dumbest questions that you may think is dumb is probably somebody that's new into the industry. They want to learn about the industry. So let's help them out.
Right.
There's no dumb question. It's a dumb answer that is really a problem. So come to the shows, come to the training. It's September 25th, so it's next Wednesday. Literally 1 week
One
away.
week from today, you'll see us live and in color.
Yeah, Sturbridge hosts in Sturbridge, Mass. From literally, I'm telling people to get there at 8 because of registration, but 8:30 to 5:30. Happy hour starts off at 5 o'clock. Who knows? It might start off a little bit earlier. We don't know.
We might get happy.
Yeah. Prizes start off at 5 o'clock, also showing the grand prizes. We're teasing you with the grand prizes. I don't know of anybody who doesn't want to win the 2 SEMA trips.
So here we go. Let's talk. So you brought up the grand prizes. So let's go through. What are the grand prizes for next week's Mobile Expo? I got. Blah, blah, blah.
But don't think that these are the only prizes.
Right.
We have plenty of prizes that are going to be given away.
So there'll be prizes given out throughout the day, but our grand prizes are going to be. There's going to be a Blaupunkt e-bike. We've given one away before. As a matter of fact, I saw Gary in the office. He came yesterday, and he said, "I said you got to get to win the second one. His and hers." So Gary just signed up to show up.
Yep.
We're going to do a 75-inch color TV.
Who doesn't like TVs?
I like TVs.
I like TVs. I got a lot of TVs in my house.
Right.
So who doesn't like TVs? Listen, if you win a TV, it's 75 inches, not a 24 like Bobby has in his living room, not a 32 like Johnny has in his bedroom. Not a 40-inch that Ben had forever, and it's a tube TV. I mean, this is a 75-inch. This is big. Bigger
It's big,
is
and you know
better.
what? You have the baseball coming around. You have the World
Football
Series.
season.
Football season's here. It's time to have a big TV. $1,000 spending spree, sponsored by Fortin. Fortin is the maker of one of the premier remote start lines. It's remote start season. $1,000 this time of the year. That's a good thing to have if you're getting into remote starts this year.
That could buy you a lot of remote starters, believe it or not.
That'll kick off the season for you, right?
And you can definitely double, quadruple your money with remote starters. It's humongous business, guys.
Next one we have is a $1,500 Go Fast spending spree. So that, guys, you can buy anything that we sell, and you've been to our website. We've got it all, from radios to speakers to amps to tint to detailing around products.
So Whipple Superchargers.
To Whipple Superchargers, Johnny got sold a couple of these recently. And then our grand prize, our top grand prize, is going to be a trip for two to Las Vegas, to the SEMA show, coming up here in November. It's going to be airfare, hotel, spending money, and there's going to be an opportunity for you to have a photo opportunity in the Sony booth with Ryan Preece, number 41, the NASCAR driver, and Dave's actually. Dave bought a Mustang Dark Horse, and it's getting set up by our friend over at Broken Silence. BJ and his team are putting the car together.
If you've been following it, let me tell you, he's doing phenomenal work.
Yeah.
Those pillars, it's not easy to put tweeters and pillars, and he's really made custom one-off pillars that look like they just fit there from factory.
Well, BJ does great work. So the winner is going to have a photo opportunity at their booth on Thursday. Ryan Preece, NASCAR driver, number 41, will be there for photo opportunity. What a great time to show up there. Show up with your colors, right? Show your business colors. Have a photo opportunity with Ryan Preece, and just have a great time with us. We'll be there to at SEMA with the Dark Horse. So, guys, register, because there's a lot of great prizes, and to Johnny's point, there'll be prizes all day long, kind of just to kind of keep the flow going.
Yeah, and plus you get an opportunity to buy special buys. We're going to have remote start programs out that day, so make sure that you get a hold of your sales rep and talk about remote start programs, because it is coming. Very exciting news about that. We're going to have a cash and carry booth, which I mentioned, tons of deals, so make sure you come with cash, credit card, or whatever terms you come. Speak to our finance when you go to the cash and carry booth. There's going to be opportunities for prizes throughout the day. We are going to feed you, so you're not going to go hungry. So we are feeding you. We're taking that, we're doing the expenditure on that. We're also having happy hour starting at 5 o'clock. And then the prizes right after that. It's just honestly a day of learning. These events are just about knowledge is power and how to grow your business. And, the prizes are great, but to me, I've never really expected a prize. I wanted more to education. And to me, education means more than anything else. Knowledge is power. Knowledge gets you money into your pocket. So just remember that. And like I said earlier, the most successful businesses all come to this show. I've gotten so many excuses of my dog ate my homework, I have to close for a day for business is soft, I can't figure out why. I keep hearing out that I can't figure out why. So if you can't figure out why aren't you taking a day to talk to other successful business owners that go to the show on what they're doing to maybe put it upon your business to grow your business?
Right, that's such a great point. Where do you get the opportunity to speak to somebody that's in the exact same business that you're in, on the other side of this of New England? Maybe they're up in New Hampshire and you're in Connecticut, or maybe you're in Massachusetts and they're in New York. You can talk to these people and trade insider secrets, and they're never going to hurt your business, because that guy's all the way up in Syracuse and you're here in Massachusetts.
Correct.
Right? So he can't hurt your business, but anything that he imparts on you or you impart on him are not going to hurt each other, but they're going to make each other better.
Well, here's another point. So when I was and I hate to keep pointing this back, when I was in retail, I was literally on the main strip. It was called Berlin Turnpike. There was 5 retail stores, one after another, after another, after another. And, why is it that you see those guys, they're open, they've been open for decades, and you're open, what are you guys doing different from each other? Maybe you'll see them at the show and be like, you know, just a friendly conversation. Hey, you know, what are you doing that's successful at your shop that could probably help me out? Or, hey, you know, I know you're down the road. I don't want to crossbreed any brand that you're doing. You know what I mean? Tell me what you're doing so I can try to, you know, make it fair for both of us. Maybe, you know, help each other out to grow each other. At the end of the day, everybody has their business. Everybody wants their business to be successful. So this is a day for you to make it successful with other successful business owners. Next thing I want to talk about is, in order to get to those grand prizes, which a lot of you have questions and how to get there and etc. You know, it's kind of weeding out the people that have left out early or just are just there for trainings and gone. Whatever the case is, you do have to download an app called Event Z. So Event ZEE. It's on either Google Play Store or Apple Market. And when you download the Event ZEE, it's going to ask you for event code. The event code is very easy. It's MX24, Mobile Expo 24. So MX24, you put that in. Last year it was funny because we saw hundreds of people using it at the same time. We had a scoreboard going up at the show. So you would see people challenging each other to try to get more points and scans and stuff like that. So, you know, that way we know that obviously you're gonna come in, you're gonna speak to all the reps, all the businesses that are there, you know, all the vendors, and you're gonna give them at least 2 minutes of your time to ask them a question. Don't just go there and scan badges to win a prize. Shame on you. Like I said, when I was in retail and I went to these events, and I do it now, and you probably see me at Knowledge Fest. I literally go booth to booth to booth, whether I deal with them or not. I ask them questions, you know what I mean? Because every vendor has a different solution for a different vehicle and do different products for different things. Don't think that your one brand is going to do everything for every vehicle, because shame on you for being a one-trick pony. If that, you know, if God forbid something happens, now that vendor's no longer with you, now you have a problem. Now you've put all your eggs in one basket and you're done.
Right.
You're done. So at the end of the day, you want to always learn about everything that's available to you. Ask the vendors questions. And that's the reason why this Event Z app is very, very powerful. Because it's apps like these that really got me to speak to vendors one after another after another. Whether I dealt with them, whether, you know, it had a rep that didn't like me or whatever the case is, I still spoke to them, because once again, it's knowledge and it's education and product that's available to me. It's not just closed off to me, it's available to me. So I always think, well, what if I can put this in my shop? How successful can I be with it? You never know. You can find the golden goose egg at the expo. You can. No, but what, you know what I mean by,
yeah, absolutely, that
one vendor that you always said, he ain't gonna do nothing with us. Little Trees. In fact, Little Trees. You know, that one vendor, it's low dollars. It's never gonna be anything big. Meanwhile, you're enjoying $1,000+ in gross profits.
There's great margin.
Yeah.
There's certainly great margin in Little Trees. So to Johnny's point, with the Event Z app, we kind of gamify it a little bit. It's a scavenger hunt. You have the app on your phone and you are going and scanning QR codes, right? And each vendor has a QR code. So in the spirit of the gamifying, you're going in, you're talking to each one of the guys. You're gonna, after you've spoken to them and you get a little insight, you scan his badge. Now, once we know that you've scanned every badge, you'll get a badge on your phone that says you've qualified. So now your name is in the bucket for all of the giveaways. Mm-hmm. So, guys, if you're a business owner, make sure you also schedule your one-on-one or get with your Go Fast sales rep on there, because that's the big one, right? The one-on-one with your sales rep. Mm-hmm. So. Typically we wouldn't have a one-on-one with one of your employees. We'll have a one-on-one with the business owners or the decision makers. That's the gateway to the grand prizes. So make sure that you see your sales rep and scan his badge when you're doing your one-on-one, and kind of get a feel for what we got going on this year. There's a lot. To Johnny's point, we've got some programs that are going to be super exciting for you guys. to be able to get you through this season profitably and with little risk to your company.
Yeah, and it's, we wanna also give you an opportunity to sit down with your sales rep. If I didn't schedule one-on-one or any of the sales guys didn't schedule one-on-one, find them at the show and just pull them to the side. I'm pretty sure they'll take a few minutes to sit down with you and discuss, the programs and what's new and et cetera and what's exciting. Because let me tell you, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of excitement around this show and around what's going on. So also, next thing we want to talk about is today is the last day for the limitless battery training.
Great.
Yesterday's training, let me tell you, they did 2 trainings, one in the morning and one more in the afternoon, and both were very, very full and very, well attended. They talked about a lot of things. They just didn't talk about a battery. They didn't just tell you this is a battery. Well, my thing is, I hate when people read off of a catalog. This is a real life training. Like, they're not reading off of a catalog. They're not going, well, Mr. Streamlight. Well, this is Mr. Streamlight. This one does 275 lumens at 70 hours. And then you could put it to max and it'll give you about 540 lumens for
certainly. So nobody, we can all read. Yeah. And to Johnny's point, whenever we sit through trainings ourselves, the ones that we like the least are the ones that are somebody just pulls up the catalog or your the PowerPoint, and they read the PowerPoint to you. I can read it. He can read it. The Limitless training was more of a real world. These guys are in it. They are passionate about it. There were questions. Ask those questions that are going to help your business. If with the Limitless training and being on Zoom, you could have. They were typing in questions, so you didn't even have to ask the question. Type in a question that makes sense for your business, and they were answering right there and then. And it just gives you the opportunity to, as we were talked about earlier, another avenue for you to make money. Limitless lithium batteries are like the go-to battery for motorcycles.
Number one for Harleys.
So if you guys are not in that business, if you're not getting a piece of that, you're missing out. Definitely check it out. I think there's a 1 o'clock and a 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, right? Trainings today, so don't miss out on those. Put your guys on them. Put your guys on at 5 o'clock. Let them. It'll be an hour long. Ask the questions and gain that power, gain that knowledge.
Well, ask them why that has been the number one battery line for Harleys that have been selling out month after month after month. They sell more Harley batteries. They sell out of Harley batteries every month. So there's a reason why people use their batteries for bikes. And let me tell you something. If you're not in the bike business, shame on you. There's more and more and more Harleys out there than I've ever seen. But with that being said, if when you're on the road, please look out for bikes. Obviously they're all over the place, and you just don't want to hit one of them. But they make a ton of different things. So make sure you check out Limitless Battery at 1 p.m. or 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I did post up on my Facebook and on our Facebook the times for Central, Mountain Time, etc. So everybody's invited. You don't have to just buy from GoFast. It's a nationwide invitation to everybody who wants to join the training. Next thing we want to talk about, obviously, is we've spoken a lot about Element and Streamlight. Streamlight has been around for a very, very, very long time. You guys are probably using some Streamlight at your shops, especially when it comes to, lighting up underneath dashes, underneath hoods, etc. The pen, I know right here, the Micro Stream pen, a lot of mechanics have them in stock. They're just bright, they're compact, they put them in their pocket. When they need to see underneath the hood real quick, they hit that button and they're looking underneath with super bright LEDs. Streamlight does lights for everyone, from camping to, like a bear trap style where it can go underneath the hood or inside the car. You got the knife style Streamlight rechargeable USB, the pen style, which I was just talking about for mechanics. My brother's one of them, so he has that specific one. I know because he uses it, because he showed me. He actually has multiple. He's like 2 or 3 of them. And they make gun lasers with LED lights on them. So Streamlight's a very, very well-known name that's been around for decades. Some of our municipalities.
The municipalities, right? Matt was one of the guys that works here as a volunteer firefighter, and as we were we're going through some orders that were being shipped, he looked down and he goes, "Oh wow, This is this Streamlight battery. This is the issue that they have at the fire station. He says we have to have these.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not even a question. That's the light that they have to have, and it's issued to them. And if they lose them, they have to buy their own. So guys, if you know the municipalities, we have the Streamlight flashlights here. Get a hold of us. There's another avenue. Maybe you can make some more money with something different.
Correct. And, going to Element now. You guys have already heard my story about the boat thing. Element, if I'm a shop owner, you know what I mean? Yes, you may have $1 million, $2 million, $3, $4, $5 million policy, insurance policy. God forbid it ever catches fire, which, we've had several shops catch fire. There's been one that happened a few years back. It was all caught on camera of something that you wouldn't even think would catch fire, caught fire. It was a power strip. And I remember this. And the video showed clearly the power strip just arcing, catching fire. And the whole building was up in blaze. You know what I mean? And that's something that's pretty scary as a business owner. You're talking about millions of dollars in insurance policy. Insurance policy is going to drop you after that. They'll pay you. Now it's your choice are you going to stay open? Are you going to rebuild? What are you going to do? And most of them will rebuild, but it's going to cost you a lot of money to rebuild, especially if your shop was booked, you had appointments. Now you got to cancel all the appointments, give refunds, you know what I mean? And as simple as if there's a fire, you grab the fire extinguisher, you literally, Bobby, give me that before you hurt yourself. You have it on your wall, you pull it out, you twist this off, you know what I mean? It literally looks like a cigarette. You take the bottom, you strike it, and boom, it turns on. And all you're doing is for 60 seconds or even 100 seconds, it'll turn off any type of chemical fire. So it goes from chemical A, B, C, G, F. It goes on. So grease, electrical, oil. It'll shut it off. We're gonna have a video after this, this episode here of Jay Leno talking about.
Yeah, it's Leno's Garage, and they do a demonstration. I wanted to light something here on fire, like this desk, but we're not allowed to do such things. So that would have been fun. But guys, check this out. Those, like Johnny said, these are brands that are not necessarily your meat and potatoes, but your shop is open. People come in. You want to make sure that when they come in, there's something there for everyone. And this could be one of those profit centers that use very little. There's no installation. It's just you're making that sale. A lot of these are impulse buys. These are cool impulse buys. I have one of these in my bag. It's a little pocket light. It's a USB charger. I charge it and it just sits in my bag, and it's always charged. The thing is bright as hell, and it's a quality flashlight.
And it doesn't not a lot of dollars to put it at your shop either. You know what I mean? And I was gonna say one more thing. So a lot of you guys deal with some very high performance vehicles. Cars that are 6, 7, 8, 1,000 horsepower, 1,500 horsepower, whatever the case is. Dirt dragster pulley. With the ones the 4x4s that pull. The weights in the back and go through there. High performance vehicle. Well, here's the problem with high performance vehicle. It is a ticking time bomb. It really is. You don't never know when a part's gonna break. It's gonna give out during a pull. I've had a lot of cases, especially recently. A lot of you guys know that my supercharger broke off my car. I wasn't even doing a pull. I was just driving normal. And the point is that if cars like that are not saying unreliable, but it's just unexpected when something might happen. A fire might happen. There's been several videos of guys, with their drift cars on the track drifting. All of a sudden, something ignites on fire. And there's a perfect example of a guy with like a 240 SX. It's a race car. He's got a regular fire extinguisher and an Element fire extinguisher. Well, he busted out on the video also the regular fire extinguisher. It's just natural instinct to turn off a fire. Pull the regular fire extinguisher, it did nothing. He couldn't even get to the spot the fire was at. This man remembered that he had an Element on his roll bar, pulled the Element, got underneath the vehicle where it was hard to get to the fire, and turned off the fire underneath the vehicle. So my point is that with high performance vehicles, you just don't know what's going to happen in the near future. And I'd rather spend $100, $150, $200 on a little fire stick that you're gonna laugh at me about, than spend another 50, 60, $100 million on a car that I could have controlled with something as simple as that.
You know, the cool thing about it, John, is you're talking about the vehicles, some of the power sports vehicles. Look at the size of this thing. Think of this as opposed to a traditional fire extinguisher. This can go anywhere. This has a shelf life, nearly unlimited shelf life. Versus a fire extinguisher has a finite shelf life. After a certain amount of time, even if it's just sitting there, it's never been used. Those things go bad and they don't work anymore. And this is something where you guys should be into. It should be in your shops, and it's more importantly, you should be offering this to your customers.
And on top of that, a lot of those fire extinguishers, the regular powder ones, is only like a Class A or B fire. This thing is Class A, Class B, Class C, Class K. So wood, coal, fire, trash, flammable liquids like gas, covered. Electrical fire up to 100,000 volts, covered. Cooking oil, grease, oil, covered. This covers all around versus your stupid fire extinguisher that doesn't. And on top of that, it's endorsed by somebody who's a believer. And let me tell you, Jay Leno, if you're not a Jay Leno fan, that man went from Saturday Night Live, right? Was it Saturday? No. Oh my God, I'm going to lose my mind. The Leno Show. Whatever the case is, it was a show that he went to, and he's a big time car guy. Huge car guy. Collection bigger than pretty much anybody that I can imagine. But he endorses this product for the fact that it works. He's used it. You know what I mean? He has it in his own vehicles. So this is something that you need to think about out of the box and to add added revenue into your shops. Done.
So before we get to the video, we've got one more piece of housekeeping, and that's the $25 early registrant. So we've got our spinny wheel. We're going to give away $25 to somebody for registering early. Remember that if you've won an early registration prize, we had the 100, the 75, the 50, and now we're doing the 25. When you get in at registration, just identify yourself. They'll have the gift card sitting there for you. So you'll have some cash to go to the outlet room.
And not only that, also think about this way, guys. You go, you buy you get $100 gift card. You want a $75 gift card. It's free money that you really didn't do nothing but register early. You know what I mean? So that should be an incentive next year for our next shows. Register early because your name still gets put on the list. If you didn't win, if you did win, it gets obviously pulled off so you don't win again. But it's still on the list. And on top of that, you get to come to a great event like this. So I'm done.
Let's spin it, baby. We'll do the thing.
We're going to. Oh, what music did you pick today? Look at all the names on.
Put your hands up.
Put your hands up. Jency Ortiz from Drums Mobile. That's your boy.
I know. Congratulations, Jency. You won the $25 gift card. Guys, this is as fair as it comes. As you saw, this wheel was rotating randomly. It didn't stop at some name that we just hit a button and boom, done. This is as legit as they come. Congratulations to Jency. That completes our gift card giveaways for the week. So that means, guess what?
Next week.
Next week, Wednesday.
Come to the expo.
691. Is it 691 Main Street? I think it is 691 Main Street in Sturbridge, Mass. So make sure you put that on the GPS, and we'll see you there. Registration starts at 8 a.m. And, obviously it's a whole day event. So even if you can't make it in first thing in the morning, come in the afternoon, you know what I mean? Do some trainings, speak to some vendors, win some prizes, and drink some beer on Bob.
On B. And coming in the morning, the Caffeination Station, sponsored by Solar Guard, will be for you early risers that come in, get yourself a coffee, and go into the first trainings. So let's turn it over to Jay Leno and his team. And guys, we'll see you next week.
Hello, Tanya?
and that'll start it off right there.
And then you aim it at the fire.
That's right, and you aim it at the fire, and then that will actually deplete the fire.
All right, it's another quickie video on a new product. You know what we do here at the garage? We hear about new stuff. And if it's a small company and they can't afford national advertising, all that kind of stuff, we think it's pretty neat. We put it on our YouTube here. Now, we don't get paid for this. They don't reimburse us. There's no money involved. You don't have any money, right?
Not anymore.
No, I don't have any money. Okay, I just thought this is a pretty cool product. I thought we'd share it with you. It's called Element. That's the name of the company, and their website is right there. Tell us exactly what you have here.
Well, what we have is a completely different type of fire extinguisher. I'm sure we're all familiar with, a typical 5-pound fire bottle. Now, the 5-pound fire bottle weighs something like 7.5 pounds by
So
time.
a 5-pound bottle weighs about 7.5
Well, it
pounds.
actually weighs 7.5 pounds.
okay.
One of the things about these bottles is they're a compressed gas cylinder.
Right.
They make a terrible mess, as you probably know. Most of them, there are some clean extinguishers as well. And the discharge time on an extinguisher like this is approximately 9 to 11 seconds. They start losing steam after about 6.
Okay.
But 9 to 11 seconds. And the other thing as well is that you need to service them and maintain them as well.
Okay.
Element is something that's completely different. It's actually a solid chemical propellant. And inside it has a chemical that once it's discharged, actually fights fires on the molecular level. So it makes no mess of any kind. It doesn't rob oxygen. And the coolest thing is, it never expires, never requires any service. And the discharge time on one of these is actually about 50 seconds compared to...
Really? So it's almost a minute for this versus 12 seconds for that.
Correct. You have a lot more firefighting time than
Okay.
you otherwise would have.
Okay, I could use this on my wedding night. Now let me ask you something. These aren't wreaths. You just throw them away when you're done.
Correct. It's a one-time use.
Okay.
Now, what you also need to recognize is that a regular fire extinguisher, the moment you deploy it, even a little bit, you've compromised the seals.
Right.
And essentially, it's a one-time use or it needs to be reserviced.
Okay, so this is, you know why I thought this is cool? I got a lot of old cars, and between the bad ethanol and the gas and eating through all the rubber, I've had a couple of car fires, and I usually carry a big, heavy extinguisher, and it'll slide under the brake pedal. It just moves around somewhere. Whereas these it's really no bigger than a road flare.
Correct. One of the things that we're hoping to do with this product is because the form factor is so much smaller, it's so much more convenient. We're hoping, the comparison we're trying to make is that this is going to become the smartphone camera of the fire extinguisher world. Before, a large container was bulky, it's difficult to handle, and a lot of people know they want an extinguisher, but they don't carry it because it's just
it's
too much of a hassle.
With this, you can put it under the seat, or, well, if you have an old car, maybe a glove compartment. So how much does this cost?
So we make 3 different sizes.
Right.
We make a 25-second unit, which costs $59. We make a 50-second unit, which is by far and away the most popular one that we have. And that unit costs $79.
And there's no mess. It's not like, sometimes with chemical fire extinguishers, if I have an old car and you shoot it on the carburetor around the fire, it gets in the motor, and you've got grit and sand and whatever else is in those chemicals, whatever's in there, and it can ruin your motor. This is just a gas, isn't it?
Right. In simplest terms, what the gas does is it chemically interrupts the combustion process, but unlike halon, it doesn't deplete the ozone, but also doesn't release toxic gases.
Yeah.
Nor does it remove oxygen. So you can deploy this in anything larger than 1.5 cubic meters, and you can still breathe.
Oh, okay.
The technology itself is not that new. The chemistry itself is not that new. It was first used by the space program, and being vehicle guys and all that stuff, one thing you might find cool is that in a fixed installation, it was used in the NASA lunar crawler.
Oh, okay.
When they get the shuttle from the assembly building over to the pad. This is the first handheld application of the technology. And as I said, we're hoping that it will popularize the use of fire extinguishers.
Well, sure. And you see why they use on the roof. You get a fire on the moon, you're going to be waiting all day for a fire engine to show up. Hey, you can pull that alarm. It's going to be a week at least. Whereas this, you can just put it out right away. So how does one engage it? Is it like a road flare?
It's actually quite simple. You remove the cap,
Right.
which exposes a little chemical tip right there.
Right.
And then you remove the base.
Right.
There's another chemical over there. These two chemicals actually need to touch. You strike it like a road flare. Once you strike it, chemical reaction starts, and the gas will start flowing.
Do I feel any heat or anything in my hand?
So what happens is, yes, this is, it's a pyrotechnic charge. So
Right.
some people like to use the term, you're fighting fire with fire.
Okay.
And so it will progressively get warmer. So
Right.
if you're holding it by the end,
That's not a good idea.
you will know that it's
Right.
getting warmer and warmer, and start moving your hand to the plastic.
And do not place in your mouth. Yeah, I know, all that kind of stuff, yeah. Can we light this one off just to
Absolutely.
get rather dramatic? Go ahead, so.
Yeah. So if I may,
Go ahead.
we just grab this, touch the two chemicals together, and strike it, and that'll start it off right there.
And then you aim it at the fire.
That's right, and you aim it at the fire, and then that will actually deplete the fire.
Wow, it goes for a long time.
It does. Well, we'll be here for 50 seconds.
Yeah.
Now, one of the cool things is that this smoke that you're seeing
Yeah.
actually creates like a biodegradable cloud,
Right.
which stays around the fire and takes about 20 to 30 minutes to biodegrade. That cloud then prevents a reflaring of the fire.
I see.
You're just cooking away.
And meanwhile, breathing this is not harmful?
Nope, not in the slightest.
Wow.
I would urge you not to point it at my face, but
No, no.
otherwise we'll be okay.
And now a regular extinguisher would have been out 30 seconds ago.
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah.
it? You know, that's pretty good. Now, see, I can feel this getting warm,
Yep.
but not so warm that I can't hold it.
Right. I mean, you'll see the end of the unit will discolor a little bit, and there it just
Yeah.
lost its peter, and boop, out it goes.
You know, that's pretty impressive. It really is cool. And if you have an old car, you just put this, I know guys carry road flares, just put this in with your road flares. Believe me, it's a lot cheaper than burning up $79, you know.
Actually, one of the neat things about the product is that it's not affected by temperature, humidity. It's completely stable, and as we said, it never expires.
Yeah.
So it's one of the things, you buy it once and you essentially forget about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's pretty cool. So you just throw this in the trunk of your car and, well, you see why I was impressed by it. I mean, it's pretty cool. As I said, it seems like an infomercial, I guess it is, but nobody gets paid here. We just want to share this with you. You know, I know so many guys that lose old cars to fire, and it breaks their heart, and they put so much time and effort in it. And you don't want to carry a big bulky thing around, so you just throw one or two of these in your car, and it lasts, what, 10 years, 20? It lasts forever, doesn't it?
It really has no effect.
Until you use it. All right, well, Rob, very cool. Well, thanks, that was terrific.
Thank you very much.
Check it out.